Gin Rummy. How to play. The object of this two-player card game is to score the most points by collecting runs and sets. A run is made up of 3 or more cards of the same suit in consecutive order. A set consists of 3 or 4 cards of the same rank. Using a standard deck of playing cards with king high and ace low, each player randomly draws a card, and the player with the lowest card is the first dealer. The dealer shuffles and deals 10 cards, one at a time, to each player. Players look at their own cards but keep them hidden from their opponents. The dealer discards the top card of the deck face up in the center of the table to start a discard pile. Place the deck, called the stock, face down next to the discard pile. Beginning with the player who didn't deal and alternating turns, each player begins their turn by drawing the top card of either the stock or discard pile and adds it to their hand, unless this was the first turn of the game. On the first turn, and only that turn, if the non-dealer doesn't want the face-up card in the discard, the dealer gets an opportunity to draw it and take a turn. Otherwise, the non-dealer continues their turn by discarding one card face up to the discard pile. Then the other player goes. Play continues until one player knocks or goes gin, at which point, at the end of their turn, they discard a card face down on the discard pile. A player goes gin when 10 cards in their hand are all part of a set or run. A single card may not be a part of a set and a run simultaneously. You must pick one for it to belong with. Both players reveal their hands, and the player who went gin receives points based on the unmatched cards in their opponent's hand, called deadwood. Face cards are worth 10 points, aces are worth 1 point, and number cards are worth their face value. The player who went gin also receives a bonus of 20 points. A player can knock when the unmatched cards in their hand's point value is equal to 10 or less. The knocking player lays their cards face up on the table, and their opponent can now lay off cards from their hand onto the appropriate corresponding sets or runs in the knocking player's hand. They may not lay off to unmatched cards. Once they have finished laying off cards, the remaining unmatched cards' point values for each player are compared. If the knocking player's points are lower than their opponent, then they receive points equal to the difference. If the non-knocking player's points are equal to or lower than the knocking player's, then the knocker has been undercut, and the non-knocking player receives points equal to the difference plus 10 bonus points. Whoever didn't receive points loses the hand and deals the next. Keep track of how many hands each player wins. Play continues until one player reaches 100 or more points. Then the game ends. The player who ended the game receives 100 bonus points. If their opponent didn't score a single point during the game, then they receive another 100 bonus points. Each player then receives 20 bonus points for each hand they won. Please note that these points do not count towards the 100 points needed to end the game. The player with the lower score loses, and if playing for money, would pay the winner the difference in their point value. Thanks for watching. If you like this, please hit the like button and consider subscribing. Check out playingcarddecks.com for an awesome variety of playing cards, and be sure to use my promo code TSG for 10% off your entire order.